2, 1. It looks like us.
Yeah, hey everybody. We are live here on the Dot Lot for another Sunday full of the Cypher System. I am so excited. What are we not live?
Everyone's cameras are in the wrong places.
Oh, that's okay. That's easy. That's easy.
I had one job to do.
Gosh, Grant. No, I'm very, very excited to be back for more Owl of Lysia. And we're gonna kind of do a different intro today. I am Dot, and we've got quite a few awesome people here with us today, including, please tell me if I mess up names. We've got Marsie, we've got Ethan, we've got Grant, we've got Ash, and Yutsai, thank you. I did not want to get it wrong. Yutsai are all here today. We're going to hop straight into this. Please know that if you don't already, there are lots of ways to support the channel, including following and subscribing above. And more importantly, you can affect today's game. There is a tiny bar across the bottom. When we fill that bar, curiosity happens. So make a donation, add to the curiosity of the game. Marsie is the most curious person I know. So I can only imagine that she will bring the curiosity to its maximum capacity. And I'm going to let Marsie take it over from here and get us into the game.
Sure thing. Hi, everybody. My name is Marsie, and welcome to the Owl of Lysia Cypher System live play on twitch.tv/littlereddot. In our first session, which was last week, our party met one at a time in front of an anima-owned tavern called the Olden Oak, a rather large stump that had been repurposed at the edge of a swamp to cater to the animalistic denizens there. Each of the party members had received personalized requests to come to the swamp at request from their friend Sariaros, a good friend to each of them who had curiously requested all of them to come. Sariaros is a hedge witch with a long pointed nose. She has scaly arms and bright crimson hair, which is very long, and she also wears it as clothing. You can often hear her singing in the swamp from miles away. She has a beautiful voice. She is thought to be an anima, or perhaps a Gans. For some reason, each of these creatures, after receiving the request to come, has come. Carmine, a horned devil tannin who serves at the Hellgate in Orison. Pangoliath, a large pangolin anima who flies balloons. Sedna, a Theron warrior who heralds the god of the sea, Sumi. Munster, a learned mouse anima, very small, who builds constructs, and Maeve, a Gans mystic with a connection to swamps. These creatures all met outside in their own time, one at a time, surprised to find a small squadron of alligator anima warriors carting a soldier dressed as a Demiran Theron soldier from the swamps who is badly wounded. And the party, knowing that humans should not be in the swamp unless invited, they intervened. The party themselves actually drew suspicion from these alligatorians. You see, anima and Gans, creatures of animal and plant lineage, are welcome in this forest. The swamps here are charmed against the senses of creatures who are Theron and Tannin, people like humans or devils and angels, respectively. After the party diffused the situation, the alligatorians explained that this Theron had broken the forest laws by hunting there. Pangoliath entertained them with new fishing knowledge, while the remainder of them questioned the Demiran soldier, who, while in shock, told them everything he could before being chased off by the squad's leader. It was probably a good thing that the party intervened. They saved the Theron from punishment of death from the alligatorians, who probably would have consumed him. The party learned that these alligators had not seen hide nor hair of this beast of metal that the Demiran described, this thing that he was hunting. They checked their invitations from Sariaros with the guards there, those alligatorians, they were written in languages that this warden could not discern, but he recognized the signatures. So he allowed them to stay, and the party then ventured deep into the swamp until they found the trail left by the beast, which had compacted and destroyed a clear path right through the forest. Maeve led them down one path towards Sariaros' house, in which the party had the misfortune of finding a silver pool under moonlight, the distinct sign of a world wound. and a creature of some sort of non-Euclidean goopy proportion emerged, and the party fought it back. Carmine, who had served at the Hellgate, observed that getting close to it attracted things from it, and they warned them to stay back. And the party left the thing alone for now, concerned about how to close it, if it could be closed. After a half hour of travel, they finally made it to the clearing which constitutes Sariaros' home. And there they found that the home itself had been destroyed, and that 4 soldiers, also dressed the same way as the other Demiran, had their eyes pasted shut with cotton and leaves, and that they were drinking mud and laughing and speaking amongst each other as though many, many people were there. It was a sign that Sariaros had glamoured them, but she was no longer there. So the party freed one of the soldiers from his glamour, and after talking him down, sent him on his way. The party inspected her property for any signs of her, finding her diary and leafing through it. They determined that this beast they were now tracking was not the reason that she called them. She knows of the world wound nearby, and that she was having fun with the soldiers for about a day or so before the last entry. She has gone now, but to what end? The party discussed chasing her and the beast down, but ultimately decided to rest for the evening, which is where we now leave. Which is where we now pick up for this night. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Owl of Lysia. As you sit around this encampment, naturally, conversations begin to strike up. And each of these party members, I have asked them to tell us a story, as they would their companions, about a joke that they know, that they were told or like telling, and why it is humorous to them. And we're going to start with Sedna.
So Sedna, her general demeanor is pretty serious. So the idea of telling a joke is kind of very foreign. It's very foreign to her people, who are also very serious. But she sits around the fire and she says, in my culture and my people, we have a coming of age ritual where we must slay a great sea creature to gain its shell. The warriors do this in different ways, but I was tasked with the great crab. So I took my trident and I swam to the deepest, darkest crevice off the coast that I could find. And there I encountered this great creature. And the crab, upon seeing me, recognized its oncoming death and decided to sit with me instead, and offered its shell willingly, but only if I would talk with it and provide it with companionship before it shed its shell. And it said, I have a joke I want to tell you. Again, a foreign concept to me and my people. And it said, so bad. He says, why does a crab keep all the seaweed to itself, Sedna? I, of course, thought long and hard about why a crab would keep seaweed. Crabs don't need seaweed. And after a period of time, it is, of course, the crab that says, well, because it is shellfish. And it took me a long time before it registered. In fact, I had long since taken its shell, witnessed the death of a great creature, and resurfaced before. And now I carry a shell, one that was given willingly, without selfishness. The irony does not evade me.
Maeve laughs insanely. She's like, oh, okay, that reminds me. Language is weird. Especially when it comes to Theron. So, one came to me and told me that he had a problem that needed fixed. And I said I would help. I felt in a good mood. So I taught him to do dovetail joints. But apparently that's not what he meant when he said that he had loose stools. I had no idea. I just assumed that that's what he meant, but no.
Sedna doesn't get that joke and goes, but why can't you simply tighten it? If they are loose, you just...
But you can't tighten it because you had already cut too much wood away.
Oh.
Munster, understanding the joke, puts down the cheese he's eating and slides it away for later.
Oh.
The campfire begins to dwindle down a little bit as the night grows deeper. You can see the rings in the northern sky, and several of the moons are showing. One is half and one is full.
So one time, chasing after this old blister, we catch up to him. We got him surrounded in an alleyway, and he was pleading for his life. And I was like, "Nah, man, go to hell." And then we took him to hell.
I just want to say biker gang Ethan is an Ethan you don't mess with. That's why that sounded right there.
Wholesome bro biker gang, Ethan.
Sedna probably also laughs, trying to get the joke because she clearly doesn't, and then goes,
Well, he's my job as a Hell Knight is to take criminals to hell.
Oh, I thought this was your clan. Hell. I did not realize. Is this your concept of the afterlife?
No, it's a place. You can go there. It's pandemonium. There's a big old hell mouth.
Oh, so it is part of your clan and tribe. And she still is like, she doesn't understand the concept of hell as this like fire. Like pit. But she laughs because she finds it to probably be appropriate.
You know, we didn't get much humor at the university. Too busy grading papers, telling students that they aren't studying enough. In fact, one of them came to me once after failing, I think one must have been his third test of the season. And he told me, he was a very rich student, mind you, custom-made suits, servants serving on him hand and foot. And he came and said, "Professor, I will give you anything you want if you pass me for this class. What do I have to do in order for you to pass me for this class?" And he brought gold bars. He brought the finest of cheeses, wheels with holes so large I could make homes in them. And he just, his advances kept coming for weeks and weeks. And finally, I had to sit him down and say, "All right, so you're willing to do anything to pass my class?" And he said, "Yes, anything." And I told him in a very soft voice, "Perhaps you can study."
Yeah?
I don't think he goes there anymore.
I don't... Is that a joke?
Sedna laughs at that one.
Well, you see, the academic's purpose is to study, and the only way to pass a class is studying. Like, you can't buy knowledge, you can't buy information that you learn. So he was being very forefront with his material wealth. He was somewhat lacking in the common sense.
That is a funny joke. That is funny. I get it. Study. That's funny. Hell, it's like, I don't.
That's just advice, like...
I told a joke once.
Oh.
Yes, you see, my mate Decker looked at me as he was preparing a supper for us both, and he said, onion is the only food that makes you cry. So I hit him in the face with a coconut and proved him wrong. Then I stop and I glare at Carmine.
Glare back.
Maeve keeps laughing because that is absolutely brilliant.
Are these all the jokes we know?
It's literally the only one that I was blessed with.
Perhaps we can buy a book and learn a few more.
Oh, I think I did borrow one from a library as I pull out Pangoliath's joke book.
Oh, I'm dead.
Oh my.
We've all literally just told every joke we know.
Or maybe every joke that you can sort of summon to mind at the moment. And there are more. But the evening quiets down once more. And eventually, you take turns sleeping in this quiet forest. It's actually very peaceful here. Other than the line that had been cut through by the beast, it doesn't seem to be disturbed by anything. You occasionally hear some things rattling around the outskirts of this clearing that makes up her home, but other than that, nothing seems to disturb it, and wildlife doesn't even fly over the top. And in the morning, when day breaks, many songs of birds start crying out, and you are all well rested.
All right.
Does anybody have a joke?
I was sure one of us would be a murderer at night.
Maybe a guess. It'd be funny. The forest does make strange noises at night.
I assume whoever woke up second would have seen me awake, nose in a book. At first light, I begin reading each day. This is symbolic of my ability to, once per day, acquire knowledge about the region. So I'm just kind of,
Yes. And you do find a very comfortable place to sit. This area is kind of like a mound, a mossy mound surrounded by the swamp water. So plenty of comfortable places to just take a seat on your Pangoliath tail.
I do also technically have that Entomological Book of the Swamp.
You do.
Oh, yeah.
One that I borrowed it. Thematically. I don't know. I mentioned that because I spelled it wrong in my inventory the first time.
As I said, Sedna gets up every morning to sit in meditation. I guess you could call it meditation. It's like a spiritual, alignment type thing. As a warrior that she does. I'm sure it looks a little like Tai Chi. When she's done, she probably she scutters over in slow steps towards the back of Pangoliath as if to maybe peek at what he needs. But doesn't want to disturb him either. So she keeps a distance, but she the breathing gets ever closer.
It's slowly a pair of eyes come up over the rim of the book. Good morning, Sedna.
You read in the morning.
I read every morning.
Is there that much knowledge in the world?
If you know this much, and then I hold my hands like a little orb, everything outside of the orb is what you do not yet know. And even if you expand your orb, there is still that much more that you do not know. Come, let us break the fast. And then, I'm going to start making pangolin food.
Sedna probably sits there for a while and, tries to take in this giant concept that Pangoliath just dropped on her of, the orb and the expansion of her world.
I think Maeve kind of walks up to you with, a mug in her hand. And she looks a little different. Her skin isn't as smooth as it was. And she looks a little thinner. And her hair isn't as illustrious as it was. But as she drinks more and more, she looks more and more as you guys saw her before. And she's like, What are you doing? This
is an orb.
Is that a joke?
Oh, maybe it is. And she's like, no, I didn't find it funny. I found it enlightening. This is the orb, and these are the things I don't know. And when my orb gets bigger, I think I know less stuff.
Oh! That's... So you know about air particles?
There are particles in the air.
Well, I mean... And she, like, points to, like, one of those light rays where you can see the dust motes floating.
I probably stand with my trident as if to fight it. It's like, what is it? Is it dangerous? Particles?
At that, Maeve shrugs. Sometimes. But not always.
I start looking around for more sunbeams, probably, to check and see how many particles are around. While breakfast, I guess, is being cooked.
There are many particles just floating in this area.
This is not a secure location. We are surrounded.
We are. Isn't it wonderful?
I'm like, between the orbs and jokes and particles, Sedna sits in silence. Her meditation did not work.
Inside, assuming the owner of this house, Sariaros, has some kind of like water container, like a barrel or something. He uses a bit of hedge magic to like float a bit into like a bowl and takes a bit of a morning bath. You cleans his clothes. It's kind of like he was raised in society. He likes to be a little prim and proper when he can.
Mm-hmm.
Then he'll take out like one of the pack lunches and start cutting up some nuts into very small. He starts making little nut sandwiches with a little bit of green in the middle.
Nice.
So cute.
Very cute.
So
Precious.
What does Carmine's morning look like?
Carmine spent their morning looking through the broken house for food, just like opening cabinets and just like, is that food? Picks it up. That's probably not food. Because it's a witch hut. It's probably full of like magical reagents. Just like, what here is food?
Perfect.
And then finding something and just like holding it and it starts cooking. And oh.
Nice. Well, eventually you all break fast in your own ways. And you realize that in order to travel the path back, you will be crossing that area where the world wood was, as you went in the opposite direction of where the beast was heading to get to Sariaros' house.
right. Wait, I think I wanted to try something last time. I don't know. Oh, no, we decided I couldn't because it... Oh, I see. No, that won't work. Okay. We should be wary of the strange, chaotic blob.
Just don't poke it.
Yes, probably be best to stay away from the pool of weird jiggly water.
Is there another way where we can avoid it altogether? Not even get close? It seemed, I don't know. It seemed like any kind of contact with it caused problems.
Yeah, it was kind of far off the path. We should just follow the path.
Oh, there's a path.
The tunnel.
Oh.
Collapse, right.
Right.
Following the metal beast. That's what we're doing today, right?
We're not telling jokes today, right?
Well, the metal beast is no concern of ours, correct? Or at least Sariosa wasn't. It wasn't the reason we were called.
No, but she's chasing it. Kind of holds up the book again with the notes.
Yeah. She does seem rather interested in it. It is... If she hunts it and we're hunting her...
It does make sense.
Yeah, I kind of destroyed her house. She has some words to talk to it about.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. It destroyed her house. maybe we should back up camp and follow the trail?
A lot of backtracking, to be sure, since we just came from that direction, but it seems the best course of action.
Agreed. I mean, she would return, right? We could just stay.
Well,
No.
I mean, she could
Carmine's
set
already
up
headed out.
a new house anywhere.
The Night of Hell moves.
We best follow. Sedna, if I could trouble you for a lift.
Oh! Yeah, she like scoops you up and like sets you on the shell.
He finds a nice ridge to like settle in.
Nice. All right. So,
Oh, we head back out.
yeah.
Pangoliath, are you coming?
I feel like I've been. I feel like I've been replaced by Sedna and
Aw.
their wonder shell. So I kind of sigh, slowly, sadly inflate my balloon, and just kind of hover a little off the ground.
To be fair, the last time he hitched a ride with you and we ran into danger, you charged headfirst into danger with Monster in your pocket.
Sometimes the safest place is the eye of the hurricane.
I have some bad news for you about Sedna. If you
Yeah.
He hasn't experienced it yet. I wanted to let it happen organically.
No, it's
Oh,
all
this
right.
is great. This is perfect. Okay. All right. So you head off in the direction of the beast. Eventually, you do get to that area where the world wound was. Was it? As you look over, it seems just clear. The ground has been. It looks as though somebody had taken perhaps a knife and just cut all of the vegetation up, and there's this bare patch of dirt. But there's no world wound in sight.
Don't poke it.
Carmine, are you sure this is the right location?
Where did it go?
But I kind of want to poke it.
Mm-mm. We know how this ends. Well, the poking part. But there's nothing to poke, right? It's
Is
It's
it?
empty. You don't even hear that strange, odd chiming that you heard the night before when you passed it.
okay. I say, Professor Munster, hold tight. And she like swings to try to like does this big move, and she just like
What?
like she like thrusts the trident forward about a solid 5 or 6 feet as if to test the space and make sure there's nothing like invisible there.
Sure. You tested around. At some point, you're fairly certain that you hit something, though. Perhaps a bit of resistance. But nothing happens. There's no creature that comes out. It just feels a little thicker than normal. Perhaps that it's weakened for some reason.
I kind of pull back. It takes some effort, and you guys probably see it. It's almost like it sticks, maybe. And there is something there. Look at them. We should not go near it.
If you don't mind, one more time, and he'll do the same, kind of drawing symbols in the air, and he'll use scan again to see if it's just an illusion, if it's actually gone.
All right, so you perform your illusion. The magic is still there that you felt earlier. However, it's level 0 right now.
Oh.
It seems to have been. Perhaps daylight has a negative effect on it.
Okay, yes, it seems the war wound has receded for the daytime, most likely to reemerge at night. Best not toy with it while it's in hibernation, but perhaps we should definitely mark this location to prevent people disappearing in the forest, as they say.
True. I was gonna see. Can I attempt to banish this?
No.
Wait a second. I have something called Blessings of the Gods, which allows me to banish like demons, spirits, and it's a similar creature. So I don't know if this would apply.
What's the text say?
Let's see. I'll copy and paste it for everyone to see.
Thank you.
Of course. It's called Blessing of the Gods.
If it's in your character sheet, you can actually click on the little speech bubble and it will
Oh, there we go. Hey, thank you. And it costs, it's an effort-based thing. Yeah, one. Did you see it, Marcie, in the...
No, I did not.
Oh, I'm sorry. I dropped it in the Zoom. I mean, the Roll20 chat. There's the Zoom chat. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes. You can do this.
Cool. Nice. Okay, great. Well, if it's so I see you like cast some things, and I said, what do your mouse eyes see?
It's definitely weaker than when we faced it last. Hibernating even. I doubt it could put much of a fight if we had someone properly trained in dealing with sort of matter.
What qualifies as proper? It is dark magic, yes.
A war wound. If not, yes, then most likely similar.
I could attempt to banish it. I've never done anything like this before. Usually it's just small creatures and demons from the ocean, but it's worth a shot.
I don't see what's the harm in trying, other than it waking up and trying to swallow us all again.
Great. Would you maybe and I simply like pick you up and like pass you to the balloon for fear of like just like I don't even ask, I just gotta pass you up. Yeah, so I go on my knees as if somebody were to pray, and I don't get too close, but I kind of put my hands out, and you watch as Senna begins to kind of say like a mantra or some kind of chant under her breath to the god Sumi, asking for help in banishing this back to whatever place it came from, or closing whatever thing it has opened.
Okay. You chant your prayer, and there's a wash that sweeps over you. It runs over your skin. There's an abrasive quality to it that reminds you of salt water. And that channel flows through you, through your fingertips, eddying around the space between them, hitting this area that is merely an obstruction, an invisible obstruction. And suddenly it gains a shadow. And this shadow is tall. It has several limbs. It begins growing outward in a strange dimension on a slant, and then dissipates up toward that. There's no sound associated with it. It just disappears.
I'm sure Sedna's like eyes closed, like concentrating, like not even looking at the situation, just praying that it'll work. And she like peers behind. She goes, "Is it? Did it work?"
I think Carmine's on the road, kind of like leaning on their greatsword, just like looking at what's going on. It's like, huh?
Did it work?
Let me check. And one more time, and
You use your ability, and you sense nothing there except for Sedna.
I do believe you have vanquished a world wound.
I stand up and I go, "I don't know what this means, but as long as it's healed, I thank you." And she kind of says that out loud, as if speaking to Sumi herself. It says, "Well, now nobody else will get harmed. I feel better. Don't all of you?"
Huh. Picks up greatsword and starts walking.
Oh, we're traveling again. So I just like, blankly grabs mine and continues.
Pangoliath is keeping track of all the requirements Sedna has made towards the next merit badge. Like, he has this whole idea in his head that it's like, This is scouting. This is scouts.
It is. You further your way down the road, eventually coming to the part where water meets it once more, where you had gotten off here, and then you begin traversing the other way. It's about noon when you hear a buzzing noise, not unlike the other one. Oh, look at that! We got donations.
Thank you for that donation.
Thank you very much. Okay, I gotta do
Bring on the
some more
curiosity.
stuff. Yeah.
Thank you so very, very much, Great Dill.
Oh, thank you. All right, let's do a curiosity.
His message says timing.
Timing. Oh yeah. I mean, it was gonna be something, but now it's gonna be something else too.
Oh.
Let's see.
Something more curious.
Great.
Yeah. Could somebody roll me a percentile die, please?
$88.
I got it.
Ooh,
Oh, nope. Carmine got it.
57.
57. Okay. Perfect. And then I need somebody else to roll me another percentile die.
41.
41. Somebody else to roll me another one.
Uh, 41.
41. And one more.
Oh, from me or?
And anyone.
61.
61. Thank you. All right. Okay, perfect. So, as you all are traveling, you note this distinct sort of buzzing sound as these dim lights sort of fill the area, dim bronze-colored lights, and they're rising and falling in this somewhat darkened area off to your left as you're traveling down this path. The area has been, it has an awning effect from the branches and leaves and eaves of trees forming up. And it's odd as you pass it because it doesn't look like that awning if you were to look at it from one end. It doesn't seem like the awning is connected in any way. Let me be more clear. Specifically, you, Maeve, who has an understanding of the way that forests and trees work, see this awning and think of it as completely separate from the forest. As you stare in, its lighting does not match up with the area around it. And from within, there are these dim bronze-colored lights rising and falling in this tunnel.
Sedna, look at your dust motes.
Where?
Your air particles over there.
Again, kind of tried it forward. What are they? What about them?
They're not the same ones.
Oh, she kind of looks a little closer. Should I attack it? Them, they, all of them.
The dust motes? Proceed with caution.
Sedna, as you step in front of it, it kind of reminds you of various caves that you've seen. Has that same murky feeling to it.
Interesting. Does it cast any kind of odd light, or is it just excuse me? What's in the air?
The small particles inside of it seem to be casting some sort of dim bronze light. But the thing itself isn't casting any light.
Yeah, I kind of like, I guess I noticed it and I'm like, okay. And I like do a couple swinging moves as if to hit something, but I'm sure it just kind of passes through.
As you go to pass, go ahead and roll me an attack roll.
Sure. Let's do, I'll start with a piercing, like a pierce. Go for that. Just flat out. And then, yeah, so there's one. I just kind of like jab forward into it to see what happens.
Sure. What did you roll?
I rolled a 17.
Nice. For 17, you also do an additional point of damage.
Yeah!
So yeah, you slide through and then you hit one of these bronze lights and it makes a poof sound. Catches a little bit on fire and then disappears in a smoldering smoke.
I did it. I look at them.
While Sedna does that, I'm going to kind of reach out my senses, dig my toes into the dirt a little bit more, and sense for any sort of supernatural or magic being used in the area.
Okay, what are you using to do that?
So this will be an intellect roll.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for magic knowledge, we'll call it.
All right, rolled an 11.
For 11, you note that these things are weirdlings. They're not Gants, they're not anima, they're not natural creatures. They have emerged from a world wound of some kind.
Whoa. I don't like your sigh. What is it?
Oh, it's just weirdlings.
What is that?
They're weird.
Could you elaborate, Maeve?
Well, I mean, they're not any of us. They're from somewhere else. They're probably come from another world wounds that keep popping up everywhere.
Weird.
Exactly, see?
That is odd.
As in fate creatures or destiny creatures. Weird.
No, weird more as odd.
With a Y.
Strange. Not with a Y.
With a Y.
Oh, with a Y.
Does that mean there's a world wound nearby?
There was one last night.
Oh.
Did I just close up their door home?
Possibly.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Little
Stranded them here.
weird. Yes, Maeve. I'm like, I'm sorry. Will they harm us?
Well, I don't know. You did strand them here. But they don't know that yet, so shh.
Oh.
You do notice that the other ones around the one that you've driven through are starting to vibrate a little bit, and slowly they start congregating around this fallen one.
Oh, and you just did kill one.
Oh. Is it dead? I didn't mean to.
I mean, it looks dead to me, but...
No! She does not like that. Especially not something that, If I reach out and touch it, does anything happen? Like, does my hand go through it like light?
So you've got like this sort of small strand on the ground now, and these other ones sort of like dancing around it, but in this slow, methodical kind of movement. When you reach out your hand toward it, the entire congregation of them start jumping back away from you.
Oh, including the one that I injured?
No, that one is on the ground.
Okay, I will reach out to that one. And I will, I'm gonna be brave here, and I'm going to give it some health back. I am going to actually bestow a blessing upon it of health, and it'll cost me 3 intellect to do this, but that's okay. I'm not terribly smart. It's fine. It's good. And I will heal it for 1d6 points. Any creature I want.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your d6 as you reach out.
Okay. Any one.
Okay. So
One giant point of health.
You touch it with this healing hand, and when you do get close, you note that the strand on the ground appears to be this filament-looking, similar to various small, delicate seaweeds you've seen.
Oh.
It looks a little bit like that, with this very apparent, perhaps a face with wrinkles carved out into it that make up these features. And you see these small tendrils that make up a hand, and these feet that also have those same small tendrils. And when you touch it, those all ignite, and it, barely alive, begins to glow a little bit.
Oh.
Bronze fire shooting up and down those filaments, and then it kind of collapses again, struggling to get upright and or float once more. It seems to be alive, but
and you said it's like there's like fire, like actual flame.
yeah. The closer you get, you realize this is small sparks of fire.
Knight of the Hell Clan, come! You are a fire. I watched you cook an egg in your hand this morning. Come, help it.
I told you not to poke it.
Please?
Not this one, you didn't.
Just don't poke anything.
But how will you ever learn? My sphere as it gets larger. What I know is there's something there. I was told, please help it. I bet you can help it.
She's destined to become a shepherd of the dust motes. Help her.
Perhaps setting the dust mote alight with more fire may do more harm than good.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I don't know for sure.
I'm not really in control of it.
Okay,
I
well,
pretty much just open it or close it.
okay, well, I'll just, all right. And then it's like, fine. She's assuming give me strength under her breath. I'll use another 3. This time, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I have to make another this one I have to actually make an intelligence check. And it's going to be, it's a difficulty level 3. Because it goes up. So here we go. I'm going to use an effort.
Okay.
Yes!
Nice.
I can roll more health on it. Save it. Oh, 4 points this time.
Nice. So it suddenly ignites, and its light burns within it to a point that that bronze glow fills up the area. And Carmine, with your sight, this area that glows up, it's not quite enough for everyone to see down. And when that fire burns down again, it probably drew your attention enough to look down this tunnel. And you see what is something of an unmistakable object within. Maybe about 30 feet in, you see some kind of shimmering blade with an ivory hilt stuck into the ground. A curiosity.
We're poking things, I guess. And Carmine jumps into the hole.
Oh,
Carmine!
The fiery things start igniting around you.
Mm-hmm.
Their magic going off. They go into a defensive mode. Go ahead and roll me an initiative.
Okay.
And anyone who wants to join into this may do so as well.
I'm probably just gonna try to get in there, get out.
All right, sounds good.
this is a heist mission,
Yeah.
Marcie.
Sounds good. Go ahead and roll me initiative.
I got a 12.
Nice. You're going to go first.
All right. I will be activating Shroud of Flame,
Okay.
which notably I believe gives me fire resistance.
Oh, that's good.
It gives me 2 extra armor against fire.
Nice. Okay. Then this is almost not a problem for you. As you wade through them, it's like wading through a storm. So to actually get to the blade itself, as you, it's like moving through gnats in the summer in like any sort of eastern coast USA province near a marsh. So you will take 4 points of fire damage as you move through, but knock off the amount.
Does normal armor negate any of that?
No, this is
Just okay.
yeah. It's like it's not weird fire. It's like normal armor wouldn't help you against moving through water, or it's not an attack roll. You're
It's
willingly moving through a thing that will hurt you.
Okay, cool. So you said 4, so I'm taking 2.
Mm-hmm.
I did, because I didn't really talk about it last time. I did want to note that how Carmine activates their Shroud of Flame is that they kind of poke their finger into the air and draw the sigil,
Nice.
and then it opens up. Like the air opens up, and you can like it's almost like it's a different place behind that veil.
Nice. All right. So you stand in front of this this sword. It looks like some kind of arming sword. When you touch it, it's cold, like frozen solid.
All right. Knowing when weird things are supposed to get weirder, grabbing the sword.
Nice. Before you do that, because it was your action to move the 30 feet in, the fiery things start burning down the area around the eaves, the awnings, all of that delightful wood that's making up this tunnel. From the outside, it looks as though the passage is closing in a fiery hole, starting to shrink.
Oops.
Carmine, I think you should leave right now.
Carmine, it's your turn.
Uh,
Anyone who'd like to join in or do something?
I was about to say,
totally may.
when the hole starts to close up, Sedna gets a smidge nervous. She actually thrusts the trident down and says, "Grab hold."
Is it an action to take the sword?
Yes.
Okay.
And then your next turn might look like a might check to run.
Okay. That's what I was thinking. That's fine with me. We're doing that.
On the air, you hear a whisper, just do it.
I'm grabbing the sword.
All right. Roll me a might check.
All right.
To
I
pull
have
the sword from the stone.
Okay. No bonuses to that. So we just rolled might.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? We're gonna burn some effort.
Nice.
Everyone loves effort. I got a nat 20.
Oh, you pull the sword directly out of the molding that surrounds it. There is give. There is considerable give that's attached to it because of all the resistance holding it back. There was a magical barrier on it. Perhaps it recognized that you are a knight and relinquished itself to you. For your boon, what would you like?
Can I get a asset on me running out of here?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Meanwhile, on the outside, the portal is continuously closing. You all see Carmine pulling the sword out of the ground, with perhaps beginning to tumble toward the exit. And if nobody else does anything, I will need that might check
All right.
to
Yeah,
run.
I can't really help in
It's
this
an asset.
situation.
I might be able to, but I might cause more problems than...
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
just watching.
Just eating popcorn. All right. So the fire is burning all around you. To get back, this is going to be another 4 points and then an additional 2 onto it because the area is becoming engrossed in flames. You can see the portal ahead of you closing. Go ahead and knock off that 2 resistance, though.
Yep.
So it's only going to be 4.
Okay, so roll a 13, training, asset, so I'm up to 19,
Nice.
and then taking off some damage.
Nice.
All right.
So your legs move. From beneath you, the ground is crackling and falling apart and turning into smoke. And at the last second, you're able to throw yourself through that closing portal with sword in hand.
I do the jump out and tumble. Dust off.
So, we ready to go?
Yeah.
Ceremony.
Perhaps next time you alert the rest of us before you go vaulting into danger.
Yeah, I thought we weren't supposed to be poking things.
Look, I didn't want any of you to go in there.
You've got a sword in your hand now. It is, it glistens, and when you hold it up to sunlight, it looks like a shard of ice that's been cut into the form of a sword.
Anyone need a sword?
Oh, sure, I would love one. Let me borrow it.
But you're so small.
Let the mouse wield it.
I was like, you risk your life, so
Pick it up with my 2 paws.
Just like lift half of it, just like.
I mean, do you want to give the sword to the mouse?
Is that responsible?
I'm not some child.
are we supposed to be responsible?
No, I mean just like would it squish you?
If the sword needs a steward, I'd gladly be its friend.
There you go.
Tosses the sword over to you.
Yep.
I flinch. Yeah,
Yeah, you
polite,
toss it
rude,
like
rude.
a yo-yo. Like a yo-yo, it just comes back into your hand like a magnet.
Ooh, that's cool.
Oh crap!
Your newfound friend doesn't want to leave your sight.
Blistering hills. Tuck it into my belt.
This is what my mother always said. This is what you get when you take on responsibility, Sedna. You saved it.
Magic swords.
Now you have to take care of it.
Magic swords. Okay.
Do you want to name it?
And it'll tell me its name in time.
Oh, it speaks to you.
Ooh.
It might be more of a warrior wielding weapon thing. Like you have a sword and it kills men, then you might call it Men Killer or something of the sort.
This is very clever.
I usually let the first person I kill with it tell me.
Oh.
So all of your swords are named. No, don't.
One of them was. I got rid of it because it was not cool enough.
Fair.
This sword is super cool though. Like, feel it.
It's very cold.
So, just out of curiosity, like if Munster attempted to pick up a sword, just a regular full-size sword, does that work?
Well, it depends on how much your might.
I have a might pool of 7.
Ooh. You could probably. You're very small.
Herculean
Probably
mouse.
drag one with enough effort.
You gotta
Okay.
get some tiny mice swords.
Yeah.
Tiny my swords. Oh, I
Yeah,
can
like
be.
this.
What was it? Despero?
Swords that come in. Yeah, like Despero. Or Reapatooth, you know.
Toothpick sword.
Yeah.
Thinking more like the Mouseketeers from the Tom and Jerry cartoons.
Yes. Just little tiny, like the things that go into cocktails. Stab through cherries.
So if we're all finished poking things for the time being, perhaps we should best resume our travels.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Next weird thing that we come across.
Poke it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, you learn
Apparently it
things.
works out.
And now you have a sword to poke things with. This works out nicely.
Yeah. So you continue to follow the path with your new sword in hand, or rather in your belt. Perhaps you might need something for that. It keeps super cooling the leather around it and begins to form icicles, especially in this very humid, moist area. Every once in a while, you hear it make a chiming sound. Perhaps a slight cracking. Other than that, the day is relatively quiet. And eventually, you come to a crossing of a path that is much the same like the one you are traveling. Like it's making a T, perhaps. And the other side goes across to your left and right.
Huh.
Seems we are at a crossroads.
Which means that if we continue forward, we're following the old path, but if we perhaps one of these directions is a new path. Effectively, we may be able to catch up on the beast.
Or the monster split in two.
Oh dear, I hope not.
So
Is there a way I can like examine the terrain to see we could tell which way was forward by how it was breaking things around it. Can I also do that with the new path to see which way, if it traveled left or right?
Yes. Go ahead and make me an intellect check. Go ahead and take an asset on this.
All right.
Because you already know what you're looking for.
Where is the... Oh, there we go. No bonus, no difficulty, no effort. 1 asset.
Nice.
And I rolled a 16.
Excellent. So you note the things that you were looking for before and figure out that at some point it was traveling forward and it is indeed the old path and that there is a newer path that crosses from your left to the right, essentially north to south. In addition, you find tracks that you hadn't seen before that appear to be matching perhaps a Theron boot, and about 3 sets of them.
Along the new path?
Mm-hmm.
Assumedly going the same direction.
Yes.
All right. I use hedge magic to levitate a stick because no one can see my tiny paws when I make gestures. And I say, so we're going this way. And the stick points the old path, the way we are following. But at some point it must have, and the stick spins around in a circle, gone this way. And he points to effectively the new path where we could just skip a couple days of travel or such. And there's also, and the stick points down and it starts to outline above the air the footprints that he noticed. We seem to have either company or perhaps supporters later. A bit of a Theron, I believe, boot print here.
Not unexpected.
How many came in?
Uh-oh.
Fine.
So there are more of them than just the 3 we found.
Yeah, didn't they? Because we've seen
4
5. The one we found at the inn.
that we saved, or that was very heavily injured.
Yeah.
And then
we found 4 at camp.
Oh, I thought we found 3 at camp.
You fixed 1, found 3.
Oh, right. Oh, right. You're right. Okay, so 5.
And didn't they say 9?
They had 3 more. There were 8 in total.
8 total. So there are 3 more. Still out. Should we track them? Well, it seems that we may all end up in the same place as our interests align on this metal beast.
Right. So we could definitely save time going this way. And he points to the new direction.
The shortest way.
That
Well, my
makes-
webbed feet are killing me, so I say the shortest way.
Let's go.
You can see this, Professor? The way.
Yes. Sorry, I wasn't sure when I cut out.
Oh.
But the stick outlining, it circles around, showing that the way we should go now is left to right, correct?
Yep.
He also outlines these new boot prints that he's noticed. And it says, we probably have company, but hopefully, if these weren't made too long ago, we should catch up in due time.
So we decided there are 3 more of the Theron that are walking about, I think while you were away. So, and they are clearly hunting what we are hunting, or they are hunting the thing we are hunting is hunting.
Right.
That's a sentence that is true. Yes.
So we can follow their tracks if it is shorter and end up ideally in the same place the witch will, or hag, or what did we call it? Witch?
Call her a hag? That's so rude.
No, this is actually Dot asking, not said. No, I can't remember what we decided. It's considered like a witch, a bog witch or type thing.
Yes, a swamp witch.
Swamp witch. Okay.
Yeah.
Are the tracks like we're doing? They're just we're walking in the middle of this giant carved out path, or are they like detouring through the forest?
They seem to be walking it.
Okay, so they are essentially what we're doing. So yeah, following the new path, catch up with the people who are trying to catch up with the thing we're trying to catch up with. Specifically, our good friend the witch and this metal beast.
Excellent. So, are we ready to go?
Yes, very much so.
Nice. All right. So you continue on, and it's about 10 minutes from there that you find another cross.
Oh dear, I hope this won't be.
This time heading north to south again. And then you look a little bit further down the line, and you see another cross somewhere over there on a diagonal. And then another. Almost as if you're walking in the center of some kind of Celtic knot.
I feel lost.
These paths, how much of the forest do they actually carve out? Like, could you tell from above, perhaps?
You might be able to tell from above.
Pangoliath,
Yes.
how do you feel about getting a bird's eye view of this seemingly naughty mess that we're about to try to figure our way out of?
Birds' eyes are far less developed than those of a pangolin. How about a pangolin's eye view? I start floating up high. Sorry,
I was trying to think of a retort. He just doesn't know what to make of that statement.
And up goes Pangoliath to play Where's Waldo of the Enchanted Forest.
Yes.
So you float up and you start getting a bird or a pangolinous side view of the area. The swamp from above doesn't look too bad at first, but then the higher you go, the more you see these cross cutouts, almost as if somebody had been playing Connect 4 with this area. And you actually see a fair bit of it going forward, back, around. Go ahead and roll me an intellect check to find something relevant that you're looking for.
All right. This would help if I organized my sheet to be... you know what? I'm going to just roll a d20. Because there's just too many buttons and my eyes are too tired. I'm going to spend some effort.
Okay.
I'm stupid. Sorry, I'm not a smart pangolin. I'm going to die from a psychic attack.
Oh, no.
Well, I rolled a 17 and I spent one
Nice.
effort. Yeah.
Awesome. So you peer around. Eventually, it takes you maybe about a minute, 2 minutes to finally spy a thin line of smoke coming from about maybe a quarter mile away in the southeast direction.
So I speak into the tin can one side, that I drop the other in. No. Are you there, Professor?
Please, can you do that, please?
You know, I assume I haven't spent my equipment, but I did put that I wanted some Pangalunas. I'm probably up too high, but I did take like knot mastery and stuff like that as my skills, just because why not? So I'll defer to the game master if I can drop a soup can down.
You can definitely drop a soup can down.
Can't tie it. How high am I?
You have to get up pretty high. You have to get up about 100 feet. So
Okay.
if you can like narratively justify having like 100 feet, I could see having 30 feet.
Yes. The only reason I'd say narratively I'd be able to justify 100 feet is if we do this from the Pangaloons, we would have solved the problem by having longer rope in it. With that said, I like me not having enough, and it's just like, oh darn. Or just I have the cans, I'll have to get the rope later, and like I go to pick it up and it's like snap. They bamboozled me. Whoever gave me my balloon.
Oh no, you've been bamboozled.
Yeah. So
okay. You can make one. This is a very useful ability just to levitate up.
Yeah. So so now that I've like totally distracted my brain with this idea of a tin can on a string. So I see smoke in the distance. Is that what I see?
About a quarter mile away, a thin line heading due southeast.
I'm gonna have to go back down and let the group know that about a quarter mile away due southeast there is smoke. I'm scared to float off. I could get punctured.
That does sound like our destination then, for the time being.
Yeah, so I float back down and I pack up the balloon, and it's done for the day. It served its purpose. And then I kind of look at Maeve, and I... you wouldn't have any string or yarn or very fine ropes, would you?
Oh! And at that, she looks through her bags and packs and pulls out some, but it's not a lot, and it's not very thick, and it's very rough. And then she just reaches out, goes to a different tree, starts pulling fibers from the tree, and starts weaving some fibers together.
A miracle worker!
I know.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of like dumbfounded, and it's just like, who can... I like the idea that making things is a foreign idea to Pangoliath. It's just kind of magic. We have things. People don't actually make them. We just have them. People make things? Yeah, so Pangoliath's just like, I'm going to need a good 120 feet. So next time I go up so high, I can speak down to you using my noise cans.
Okay.
You're the best.
So as we walk, she'll just keep adding fibers.
Okay. Beautiful. So, are you in any sort of hurry to get there?
I'm in a terrible rush.
Okay. All right. So for getting there in a timely manner, because you know this thing moves, I'm going to need we'll call it a might check for endurance, keeping up the pace, especially in this muddy area where your boots are sinking quite a bit. Maeve, you're going to... This is going to be one step more difficult for you, because you are trying to be helpful. So you're going to get that length of rope done, but you're a little bit distracted as you move. The task difficulty for this is going to be 5.
Is my might task my difficulty of hanging on as I'm being bounced up
Yes.
and down?
Yep.
Ooh.
So for everyone, it's 5 or just Maeve?
For everyone, it's 5. For Maeve, it's going to be 6.
Could I use my my construct assistant to help me, like, either weigh me down or like keep me anchored to what I'm? So as a, what is that called? An asset or a...
Yes, it'll be an asset for
All right.
help.
So, a couple questions.
Answers?
All right. So, I just want to walk through how I do this. So, I have some enablers that might be of useful. And I'd like to go down them and see which apply and which don't. So, the first is my skills. Instead of running, I roll, which is just I'm trained in rolling. It's the same as running, but I like the idea that it's a roll. I have muscles of iron to reduce it by a step. This probably won't matter. The endurance, where I can do physical actions for longer durations. So potentially run faster. But I'm also mammoth. I don't think endurance applies in this case. I could just run longer, not necessarily faster.
I would say that you, for this, for the... I would say because you took endurance, don't worry about it. More or less, this is to test for a quick step. So if you have endurance, you already have that.
Yeah. If okay. Yeah. Otherwise, I think if I spend a little effort, I can get this down to like a test difficulty 1. Apparently, I'm very swift.
You're just a quick little pangolin.
Yeah, I just go rolling quickly. Just
Gotta go fast.
Yeah.
You gotta go fast. All right. So, who passed this? Nice.
Monster did.
Excellent.
Somehow I did too.
Yeah. Well, you know the forest.
I rolled a 1.
Nice. Sedna, what did you get?
This is a might.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. I rolled a 12.
Nice. Okay. So you're still going to make it there, but you're going to be a little bit behind. Perhaps this is because at some point you lose track of Carmine. You don't know where they went. As Carmine gets a little hopelessly lost. Perhaps from admiring their sword a bit too long, the new one, it begins glinting at them. Or perhaps because they got sidetracked, following what they thought was you and turned out to be not you all, which is curious enough. There are things that happen in the Enchanted Forest that resemble little mirages, especially on top of the water. So Carmine, you get lost. Let's resolve that real quick, or at least do a partial resolution, and then I think we're going to take a bio break and get watered. Carmine, you manage to get yourself lost after you think that you're following Sedna's shell, and that sort of steely gray-blue hermit crab shell that you thought was that is actually a large pitcher plant.
I'd like to bring up a small note.
Yeah.
Everyone here was technically invited.
Yes.
Carmine wasn't. The person who got invited is dead, and they ended up getting their letter to be sent out here.
This is so good.
Does this have anything to do with that?
It might, yeah. The forest has been not kind to you.
No. I did steal a sword.
So yeah, that's actually a wonderful narrative justification for what's about to happen as this plant, more or less you just walk almost directly into it and find yourself toe-to-toe with a giant carnivorous plant. That said, the rest of you walk at a quick pace, and this is toward Munster, Maeve, and Pangoliath. Actually, Munster, who's holding you right now?
I guess I'll just stick with one person per day / session. So I'll still hang out with Sedna for the time being.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. You also realize that Carmine is gone. So you're still following the group. It's Pangoliath and Maeve. As Pangoliath tracks pretty effortlessly through this area, and Maeve pulls 5 fibers from the bark of trees and weaves them together. You all stumble across 3 Demiran soldiers who are having a conversation in their own tongue with their weapons drawn, and they look like they're about to strike at something from beyond the brush that they are behind. You come in behind them. This is going to be a good time to take a break. Boop, 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 boop,
We
boop.
will.
All right, we'll take a break and be back. Give us some time. Let us go be human, and we'll come back and find out what's behind that bush.
2, 1. We're back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Dot Lot for the continuation of this really awesome game that I'm having a great time playing, called the Owl of Lysia. And we have Marsie to thank for that, so let's hop over and let Marsie drop us right back into whatever's hiding behind the bush.
Hi, everybody. And also remember, you can help out the stream. Sorry, can you do your spiel? Because you do
My
it so much
spiel?
better. Your
Oh,
spiel for all of our new people who are just joining us.
Yeah, for all of you who have just joined us, first, thank you. And second, there are lots of ways you can support this channel. Every dollar that you give, whether that's bit dollars, digital dollars, or else, goes to helping support this channel. And if you would prefer, I also have a Extra Life open as well. So if you want to give to a charity, you can do so. I'm a cancer survivor myself, and I believe wholeheartedly in the work that Extra Life does. So other than that, if you want to affect today's game, you can do so by helping that little bar down there get more curious. Every dollar that you give makes the curious bar go up. And even when you give to Extra Life, we will apply that to the curiosity bar so that by the time it reaches the end, Marsie can dump a big old bucket of curiosity on our game.
So much curiosity.
So much curiosity.
Bucket.
Just the whole cooler full right on the field. Just
Solve it.
splash me with it. There you go. There's that little piece of Marsie. You can take it away.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So yeah, welcome back to the Owl of Lysia, Cypher System live play on Little Red Dot's Twitch channel. My name is Marsie, and I'm the lore keeper tonight. So when we came to our party, they were searching out a giant monstrous metal beast, following the trail of Theron soldiers. And they have found the beast. Some of them have found other beasts. When we rejoin them, they have tracked them down. Pangoliath and Maeve are facing down the backs of 3 Demiran Theron soldiers, weapons in hand, ready to strike at something beyond a brush, a tall, leggy thing. We have Sedna and Professor Munster, who is holding on to her shell. They are en route. And we have Carmine, who is facing down a large carnivorous plant who they thought was Sedna. It was not. It is not looking great for Sedna. So.
Not looking great.
No.
I mean, if there is in any way a creature that could possibly be here, Sedna kind of like, again, poses. She is a warrior. She goes into the only thing that makes her feel comfortable, which is a defensive stance.
Of course. Let's start out by resolving that intrusion, first of all, with Carmine. Carmine, roll me some initiative.
All right. Well, I always love rolling initiative. It's a good thing to do. I got a 9
this session.
Yeah.
Nice. So this thing is going to go first. It snaps at you, and like there's obvious reasons. You pull back the shell, or what you think is the shell, and suddenly this maw opens. This maw that's dripping with some sort of Icarus goo, which slides apart and pulls apart as though you are, I don't know. It's goopy, and then it gnashes at you. So go ahead and roll me a speed defense roll.
Speed defense.
Yep. Difficulty for this will be 6.
Ooh, okay. This
one packs a lot.
I just rolled another 1.
Oh no! All right, so it's going to latch onto you. Your armor will count. Oh no! As your intrusion for the nat 1, it's not going to count here.
Cool.
So it's going to deal 4 points of damage to you directly.
Cool.
And you feel it burning into your skin. You're used to fire burns. This is a different, more bubbling kind of burn as it latches onto you.
All right. As I do whenever I'm angry, I reach up, cut the signal or the symbol, and catch on fire. I'm gonna Shroud in Flame, because That's always a smart thing to
All
do.
right, I'm going to need you to roll me a check to get your arm up to be able to do that.
Okay.
You could choose whether it's might or speed for you.
Speed?
Sure.
Okay. Is it? Yeah. I'm not rolling. 14.
14 is good enough. Yep, you angrily surround yourself with a halo of fire.
Well, and then I got a cool new ice sword. Let's try
Yeah.
that out.
Sure. Is the summoning fire an enabler? I forget.
It is, yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, with your free hand, you can draw the sword.
Just, yeah, and just
All right,
Oh.
whale.
no time better to try this.
Roll
Ugh.
the whale on it.
Let's see, I don't have a macro ready for this, so I'm just gonna might attack it. 15.
Nice. So you take the sword and you careen it against the creature. So you deal your damage. It's going to count as a medium weapon for you.
Okay, so 4 damage.
Yep. And then in the spot where it cleaves, you notice that a patch of ice forms. I need you to roll me a d6 to determine the level of this artifact.
1.
Nice. That's okay. It does a 1 point of ice damage as well. Just this
Neat.
frozen damage coming across it and making it cold.
All right. Cool.
Oh, no, +2. So it's actually level 3.
Even better.
3 points of
It's
damage.
a fancy sword.
Yep. All right. So total 7 points. That's nice. While it's already got you in its grasp, it's going to just gnaw
Mhm.
while it's still here. So go ahead and roll me another speed defense roll. Again, this will be 6.
Nope. I rolled a 7.
All right. It gnashes into you again. This time you're better able to defend yourself, probably by perhaps sticking the sword into the side so it doesn't cut as deeply. So your armor will actually work here. So you only will take 2 points of damage this time.
It will also take 2 points of damage as I am currently on fire.
It takes 4.
Oh, because it's plants.
Yes, it is plants. All right. It's gnashing on you, and as soon as it bites into the fire, there's something about it that recoils. It opens up like a clamshell. It's your turn.
I jump out and angrily stare. It's like, we done?
We done. Go ahead and roll me an intellect check to intimidate the plant.
I have intimidation, so let's
Yeah.
do this. So I rolled an 11, so it's a 14.
It shudders shut and starts like inching into the ground away from you with some sort of awareness.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Still bleeding, just like...
Yeah, it's also bleeding, but this goop from its ice encrusted wound that you delivered to it.
And then I don't take the fire down. Like, we all cool? Just like looking at the forest with the sword drawn.
As you wave the sword around, you see out of the corners of your eyes, which see into total darkness, this sort of shuddering as these vines sort of slightly, subtly recoil back into the trees.
All right, we cool. She's sword.
Beautiful. Meanwhile, Pangoliath and Maeve, you come across 3 Demiran soldiers. They are wearing red and black tunics, which identify them as Demiran. Each of them carries a spear and a shield, which they hold the straps of in one arm, typical of Demiran fighters. They appear to be going over some kind of plan as you approach. You hear them before you see them. And what you overhear, Maeve, would you like an intrusion?
I would love an intrusion.
Go ahead and take that XP and give one to a friend.
I will give it to my good buddy, Pangoliath, since he's standing here with me.
Oh,
Excellent.
good.
So, Maeve, the language that you overhear as you approach, these people speaking in hushed tones, saying, I I get into the voices. Hold on. Blah, blah, blah.
I love it. All out of voices.
Yeah, all out of voices.
I know what that's like. Whoosh.
Yep.
Mood. Total mood.
How do you expect it will be to kill it? I don't know. Will it be harder than that other? Don't talk about it. I'm just saying we shouldn't have killed her.
Yeah, I think it's time to make my presence known. I'm the forest wardens checking for hunting permits and invited guests.
They jump. They don't know you're there.
Yeah.
And they spin on their
They
heels
know.
and see you and Anima and you, Gantz, approaching. They form up, but they're still doing their best to hide behind the brush, and one of them reaches up a hand to their mouths to shush you. Goes, stop, we're in the middle of something, and then we'll be on our way. We won't.
What are you in the middle of?
We're the worst police officers for them to run into.
The worst police officers.
We're cops now.
We are on official business to take down a beast which has made all of these carvings in the wood. If you...
You sure it wasn't you?
We are pretty certain. We didn't make that.
I don't know.
Look, it's just beyond there. And shh. They turn over their shoulders. Just shh. We're going to take it down. Then we'll be on our way, Forest Warden. I don't know how this forest works. I don't either.
Do I?
Are you hunting this?
They look at each other. What's the answer? Don't say yes. Say yes. What does it look like we're doing?
Bad things, my
You know-
friends. It looks like you're doing bad things.
I've never met a Demiran soldier that was able to talk themselves out of a ticket, but I've known a few that have been able to talk themselves into one.
Oh, God.
I know,
They
right?
stare at you. They go, a ticket? What's a ticket? It's like a fine. Oh.
Yeah, it's a citation.
Huh. Well,
Let me take... since we don't know whether you're hunting or not hunting, let me take a very quiet look. I want to peek to see what they're trying to sneak up on.
sure. Go
This is
ahead
the
and
best
roll
scene.
me a speed check to sneak a peek.
Okay.
And you can roll an intellect check if you prefer.
I'll roll... I think I'm going to roll speed simply because I can spend more effort from there and not die as quickly. Jeez. Nat 20!
Nice.
On the
So you,
pointless roll.
no, actually not super pointless. This check allows you to sneak up on it without scaring it away. So as you peer through the brush, separating it very quietly with your long talons, you see on the other side this sudden slow movement as this large circular foot creaks and falls into the mud below. It turns its body, this grinding sound, this low grind that you have been hearing for a bit now. You realize as you hear this, it has these huge mandibles that are also made of steel. these slowly blinking eyes that are placed on opposite sides of the head with some sort of, you're not sure, there are circular lines heading back, perhaps similar to some reptiles that you've seen. It has a large shell on it, or at least something that looks like a shell, but it's all jagged and full of rocks. And speaking of rocks, on the top of this is this stonework tower that seems to be a different material. And this whole thing rises up about 2 stories tall. It's this very, very large creature that is slowly moving. It reminds you a little bit of a turtle, perhaps.
Wow.
And for your speed check to sneak a peek, you do not earn any attention from it. And it is still there when Sedna and Professor Munster arrive.
Okay, so I need to turn. I need to tell these Demiran soldiers, you can't hit this thing. It's a house.
Yeah. So who did you hit before?
Before?
Yeah.
This thing that we found.
Yeah. What thing?
Plenty of things. That thing we hit a couple times. And they start forming up again. We're going to take this down, then we're going to turn out and walk away.
Are you? Because apparently it's a house now.
Yeah.
You destroy someone's house, and you already destroyed a couple things already in this forest that you're not supposed to be in.
They exchange some glances and stare back to you. What's your point, tree folk?
Oh, my point is I don't think you're going to get out of here very easily.
No, I don't do that.
The worst buddy cop movies. Look, we have one job. It's to take down that thing. So we're going to do that and be on our way. About this time, Sedna and Professor Munster, you finally arrive.
Probably burst through a bush somewhere. It's like, trying to. We made it. Are we late?
What's going on?
These chaps are going to try and destroy a house.
Why? Somebody lives there.
I know. So horrible.
Murderers.
I'd simply waltz over. You cannot destroy a home that belongs to someone. How dare you?
Here's what I think I want to do. I think I need to de-escalate this. If Game Master permitting, I want to spend my experience point that was given to me to activate my kind ability in order to try to defuse these guys. And if they're not willing to not kill it, I at least want them to tell me why they need to kill it and who told them to do it. Because, I mean, they're soldiers, a random pangolin police officer, because I am one now.
Probably have a badge somewhere on you.
Yeah, I probably handed it to someone else as a gift, but
What the hat? I want you to have one of those like British
like a
officer
Bobby's
hats.
hat. Yeah, like the Bob's, because I have the club. Yeah, so essentially, yeah, I want to pay my XP and see if I can turn the bad situation around a bit.
All right, let me just real quickly read the...
Yeah, I'm going to drop it here in chat as well.
Appreciate that.
Has anyone seen Carmine?
And
No.
they're
I
not with...
see.
Oh.
Okay, so yeah, you spend your XP. And the guards, I say guards, they're mercenaries. They stare you up and down and then back the thing and say, that thing destroyed several villages on the way here. We have been contracted out to take it down. It is the only job we have right now, and we're going to do it.
Are they paying you for this job?
They look between themselves. They are.
They pay you in what? Jewels or something?
Yes, gold offers one. Another one says I'm actually indentured to the army. And then the third one just stares daggers at them both. It says, what are you doing?
Where I come from, this is very valuable. And I pull out like a whole bunch of like, what is it? It's called sea glass, basically. It looks like gemstones kind of things, but really what it is smoothed over stones that come in a variety of colors. It's valuable. It's how they trade her people. She's like, I will give you this if you will simply walk away, leave this place.
And sorry, does that constitute an expensive item?
I'll leave that up to you. They're collected from the ocean, but that's the only place you can get them. They're like made by Mother Nature. So if you think they're an expensive item, I have an slot for an expensive item.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, Sedna. Like, we are looking for. Pardon me. We're actually looking for a friend of ours, a powerful one, and did she? We don't know if we need help stopping this beast or just We're searching for someone whose intentions will decide what we do. So perhaps we may need their help.
Oh, well, how about we pay you and you don't burn it down and follow us instead?
Exactly.
So they share glances between you and the small mouse on your shoulder. And when Professor Munster speaks to your eyes, or anyone who has training in insight or gleaning information from people who are trying to conceal it, you would notice that they go a little pale. At least one of them does when you start mentioning your powerful friend.
Yes, that powerful friend, the very powerful one, right, Professor?
Well, it's been a while since I've seen her, but she seems to know her stuff.
He's terribly powerful. And I start I poke you a little bit, like nudge, like,
stop that. What are you doing?
She is, and I make big old eyes at you on my shoulder. That's like
just giant face.
Yeah, I'm like big eyes, and I'm like, she is terrifying. Even I, as a divine warrior, kneel in her presence.
Kind of backing up on your shoulder, regretting his decision this morning. Yes, I agree.
They're staring at you. One of them starts speaking, and the other one shushes him. And then the third one goes, "How powerful are we talking about here? Like terrifying wise."
On a scale of 1 to 10, she's a 13.
That's a lot.
The last man I saw, he pooped his pants. He never recovered from the embarrassment.
What? And they start like chattering a little bit. What? How would you like to roll me an intimidation check?
I have no idea. Sidna's not terrible. I mean, she is kind of intimidating.
Yeah, I mean, you can also roll like a friendly check because your intentions are to be friendly, but that's not the way it's coming off in context to them.
Right, sure. I'm trying to help them out.
Does me helping with this charade also give her like an asset or something?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I have I don't even know. Okay, Sedna would take this from a place of divine knowledge, which I do actually have a special ability in divine knowledge, meaning I know a lot of godly things. So I'm just going to try to play off the fact that I'm a divine, warrior for higher powers, and it even scares me a little bit. And try to just convince them that it may be best to respect. I don't know. Is that an intelligence check?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, an intelligence check.
Fun time. I have absolutely 16.
Nice. So you start going over and over about how powerful she is, and one of them just takes out this bag and just thrusts it at you.
Okay, I take it.
And then just starts booking it. And then the other two are just like, yeah, that one. If she comes back, give her our apologies, and then they start booking it as well, just running off into the swamp.
That's what I thought.
Sedna, what's in the bag?
What's in the bag?
In the bag, you find a small set of personal items, or at least Maeve would identify them as personal items.
It looks like strange objects in a bag.
It seems to be some pens, some various ink made from the surrounding flora of the place, a little bit of hempen paper, some jewelry cut from stone, a couple of envelopes. These were the things she carried on her.
I don't know what all this is, but there's strange potions, and I pull out the bottle of ink and odd utensils, and I start pulling stuff that said we don't have quills and ink and stuff where she comes from.
Let me look at that potion real quick.
Sure. I pass it over, very confident that that is what it is.
Yes, good job. Excellent. Okay. Good news, she's probably still alive. Bad news, she's probably super pissed.
That scares me.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Well, maybe she'll be happy that we return her odd sorcery utensils.
Yeah. Let's... Yeah. I'm sure she'll be happy.
By the way, why were you all whispering when we got here?
Oh. There's a house over there.
Are you sure it's not a shack?
Yeah, quite sure.
Oh.
You hear this lumbering sound, this grinding, and you see from beyond the trees that are intermittently, sparsely, and densely strewn out in front of you, along with some underbrush, this shadow moving beyond it with these crevices depicting stone work, lumbering through back and forth, end to end, on a sort of seesaw pattern.
Definitely not a shack. Has anyone seen Carmine?
Carmine, at this point, you finally catch up with them. The forest is letting you through finally, and even the gnats around have finally stopped bothering you. Before, they would just crowd around you no matter how much you flared them up with your aura.
I hate swamps. Just kind of like trudging through, bleeding, covered in mud. Currently on fire.
Carmine, it's only been 10 minutes. Where in blazes have you gone?
You seem to have been in combat. Are you all right?
What is the situation? I just saw 3 dudes just run by.
We scared them.
Right, so, Maeve believes that our good friend the witch is alive, though probably quite upset. And also there's a wandering tower meandering that way.
Yes.
Any chance that our friend the witch might be in the tower? Or...
What
I mean,
the tower.
It might be the next logical step to pursue in this case.
All right.
Are you sure you're all right? Maybe we should take a rest. If we know where it is, it's probably easy to catch up at this point.
Allow me to lick your wounds. No, I don't say that.
Please don't.
But if everyone's hail of heart, then yes, I think pursuing this tower, which is getting farther, might be the best course of action.
Well,
Carmine looks hurt, but is willing to keep going.
How hurt?
I'm at 5 of 14 might.
Ooh.
That's really hurt.
Recovery roll. Come now.
I used my one action already.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'll come over. This will
I'm taking
be
a lot of pain. This
fun. This will be fun. We'll see if I can do this. I will attempt to give you the D6 roll, one stat pool of any creature, including myself. I'm going to do it on you, but now, because I haven't rested, it's going to be a 4. So we're going to see if I manage this. This will be luck only. Hey! Wait, that can't be right.
You rolled a 13.
Oh, I did roll a 13. Yeah, great. There you go. Now you can take 5 points back.
Nice.
Carmine looks very suspicious at you while you do this thing.
Yeah, like
The
run
entire
hands
time.
around you. Please stand still and stop watching. It affects the potency or something.
Yeah,
And it
these
makes
are
me feel awkward.
the feelings that you get as this healing magic washes over you is not unlike some of the creatures who have treated at the Hellgate before, but you can't help but feel that Sedna's abilities are more powerful than theirs, somehow.
So welcome, Raiders.
Raiders! Hi!
Thanks for the deck for raiding. Sorry, keep going.
So this thing continues to move, lumbering forward.
All right, let's get to it.
Do we just run it down?
If no one has any objections, Carmine's going to walk towards it, and I would like to cast a spell.
Wow. Hey.
I'm going to cast Entangling Force.
Okay.
So I'm going to spend a point of effort, so it's going to be a level 3 construct. That
Sure.
What happens is little tiny red pools kind of open up around it, and chains latch out and wrap around it.
Sure. So you move to the other side first, to actually get a look at it, and you see this sort of turtle-like structure carrying a large tower on its back, lumbering forward. You cast your spell, and I believe it creates a level 2 construct.
I spent effort, so it's a level 3.
Okay. Your chains wrap up around it, and no sooner than they do so, they break away. This thing bursting forward. Concurrently, you also see these trees bending and snapping out of its way. It's a juggernaut in this forest.
Right.
Senna, can you get closer? I might be able to leap onto its back if I'm close enough.
Oh, sure. She kind of rolls her ankles a little bit, and then she takes a running. I mean, she can get us as close as we want to get. She is both bouncing, climbing.
Yeah, I'd like to get, if we can, I'm not sure how far I can get. If with a far step, I can go anywhere within long range if I have a clear, unobstructed path.
Yep, as soon as Sedna breaks the tree line to get in back of it or to its side, yes, the answer is yes, you can do that. And the thing, it's the top of its shell for where the tower begins is about 10, maybe 12 feet above the ground.
So I'd like to far step onto its back.
Okay.
Taking my little robot construct with me.
All right.
So is it like earth on it and then like a tower on a ground, or is it like all metal?
It's metal that has some earth growing in patches on it.
Odd.
Yeah, some vegetation is on here. It's a little mossy.
Odd. Okay, well, I've made it. Let's see. In that case, let's see if there's someone who's driving this thing, and he goes up
Would
to
you
the
like
front
an
door.
intrusion also?
Oh dear. Yeah, I will.
Perfect. So take an XP and give one to a friend.
All right. Senda's been a good carrying buddy so far this session, so
Right. Mule powers activated.
Beautiful. So as you start moving forward, you can hear it lumbering beneath you, these giant footsteps shaking the earth and also a little bit of the actual structure itself. And as these trees bend and snap out of the way, you think, Well, that would suck if one of those came my way. As this tree bends backward and then snaps forward across the top of the back towards you. Go ahead and roll me a speed defense roll to dive out of the way.
Yeah, if I could just like far step straight under the tower to use it as a shield. Speed defense, you said?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I don't have training in that, so probably just be a straight speed roll.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 12.
12 is enough. This thing clatters against it, and thinking quickly, you are like, can't go to the side, it'll roll off there, and you dive and roll under a piece of rock that's big enough to where even as the tree hits it and several pieces crack off and fall above your head, it misses you and then rolls off the side.
Okay, inside. Make my way to the front door. Knock,
Okay.
knock.
You knock on it. There's no answer, but there is a hole in the bottom big enough for you to move into.
I'll just walk inside.
Mhm.
Small frame.
Yep. On the inside, let me post up a picture of the schematics here. This tower. Drop that into chat.
You want me to pop this over
Yes.
too?
Please. You come into the first floor area. To your right is some kind of stove, like a wood stove type structure with a chimney going all the way to the top. Beyond that, following the wall, is a spiral staircase that goes to a second level, and there appears to be some kind of room underneath the staircase, just this closet area, perhaps, or a pantry. And there is a round table in the center of this area. It is wobbly, and the chairs slide around slightly as this thing moves.
Does anything in here does it just look like a home, or does it look like there might be some way of controlling this creature?
Good question. You look around, this doesn't seem to be anything more than a home, but you do have abilities that allow you to
Yep.
assess
Roll-
situations
Roll
more.
up my coat sleeves, and so I guess just for safety, I'll do a quick scan of whatever's behind the door.
Sure, that's probably a good idea. You do a scan. You note levels of things, mostly 0 or 1. Nothing that gives off specific magic in this place. Just appears to be a tower. At least this part of it.
Might be a control nodule on the top floor. Ascend the stairs with Gouda.
Yeah. Yes, that's going to take you a hot second to do. In the meantime, what are the rest of you doing? Who would like to do something, if anything?
I see Professor Munster going through all of this, so I'm gonna. Can I run alongside it? Is it that fast?
Sorry, I muted myself because the bell was working. It's not fast at all.
Okay,
It's
great.
moving at an immediate speed. This thing only moves maybe what, a sixth
Okay,
of your speed.
of my actual speed. Okay,
Yeah.
then I actually will climb to add some support with Professor. I see him get in, tree falls, gasp, and then I get a running just because I can climb. It's something that I have a skill in.
Okay. It actually, you don't have to roll for this. There are plenty of handholds and stuff for you to actually cling onto and
Cool.
and climb. So that's easy enough.
Perfect. Yeah, I just want to follow for support. He's a tiny critter.
I think Carmine would follow along as well.
Okay. Yeah, you hoist yourself up. Maeve, what are you doing?
So Maeve watches all of them run away, and she reaches over and touches one of the still living trees.
Mhm.
I'm just like, hey, guess what? There's
What?
3 unwanted people here. Running that way. And then she goes and runs and jumps up onto the...
Whoa.
Forest
Secret
mobster. Be a shame if something happened to them.
It would be.
Such a shame.
So yeah, you'll be climbing up shortly. And Pangoliath, what are you doing?
I'm following right behind.
Are you still flying in your little... No, you packed it up.
I packed it up. I was like, oh, I just want to float up.
So yeah, you could follow behind fairly easily.
Especially because I still have that rope dangling behind me.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Nice. Okay, so back to Professor Munster. After a short while, your small little mouse construct climbs you up the stairs.
Why do stairs have to be so high between each step?
And eventually get to the second floor. This one, the chimney continues up from its point from the first floor, eventually going into a ceiling from there. There are 2 rooms on this part of the area. And then there's some sort of loft that you can reach by climbing a ladder. There's a rug on the floor here. And as you ride across the rug, it appears to be old. There's a lot of dirt and stuff.
I look at the floor and kind of do a little scrape. Is there dust on the floor?
Yes.
Like a considerable amount?
Yes.
Like no one's been here in a while?
Yes.
Oh dear. He just realizes that perhaps his companions will be following him, so he instructs Gouda to go. I'm not sure if a mouse robot can do this, but he wants Gouda to go down and make sure the door is unlocked, or at least maybe open ajar so people don't have a hard time to get in.
Sure. Yeah, you could send your construct back down the stairs to go take care of that for you. Meanwhile, Sedna and Carmine, you both approach the tower, or what would you like to do up here? Do you want to follow into the tower, or taking a cursory look around, you don't see
Okay.
Monster.
Okay. Just here on this first level.
Yeah.
You said it's a pretty easy climb, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty easy climb, and the door is open.
I'm actually interested in climbing the exterior all the way to the top. I'd like to get a view of where we're going.
Okay.
Where's this thing headed?
It's easy enough to climb. You will need to make me a check if you're climbing vertically all the way up the tower.
Yeah.
Because there aren't as many fragmented.
Sure. You want to climb?
With a 3.
Okay.
Or might.
There we go. That's a 20.
Nice. So yeah, you climb no problem up to what appears to be a balcony. And then you reach a roof. And from this position, you see over the forest a little bit.
Cool.
And there's a small bit of smoke that's coming from sort of the neck of this thing.
Huh.
It's probably what Pangoliath spotted earlier.
Oh, I see. Very cool. Okay, but it doesn't seem, at least from this vantage point, I don't see that it's headed towards a town or a very designated place on the horizon.
No designated place, but it is carving through this forest like butter.
Really? Cool. I guess I'll pop in near the balcony. I'll drop down to the balcony because I'm guessing it goes inside. And I guess I'll meet Professor Munster as I'll be at the top when he gets there.
Okay. Yeah, you could do so. Find yourself riding a lumbering beast. And Professor Munster, you don't find any sort of magical ness, I guess, about this tower. There's nothing that you can discern as
interesting.
magical.
Oh, I would because I did decide I have a knowledge architecture. Is there anything about this tower that sticks out to me? Like maybe it's built in a different continent's design, or it's very old, or something.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me an intellect check and take that asset for the reduced by 1 step for you for knowledge training.
All right. I rolled an 11.
Okay. For 11, you note the tower's architecture. You think back to all of the architecture that you've studied. It's kind of important to building constructs in general, and you have a fascination with the kind of thing. This is very old. This is maybe about 800 to 900 years old. And the kinds of sediment that you're finding here is concurrent with ruins. Which ruins you aren't sure, but it's not from this continent.
There has to be
interesting as to why it ended up here.
But the building itself is still in good condition?
Yes.
Yeah, it would have to, if it stood up to like trees falling on it every now and then, so it had to be.
Yep. In addition, the rooms here are new. Somebody outfitted this and then left it behind.
Interesting. Oh, there you are, Sedna.
Like looking out of the balcony. Oh, you made it up the stairs.
It took a while, but yes.
Carmine, what are you doing? Are you following up, or what would you like to do?
Carmine actually looped their arm over the open door and is using their other hand to help Maeve and Pangoliath if they need it. Just like because it's a weird moving structure, just sort of like extra bracing.
Nice. You can actually do that with a lot of fragments. The door actually faces the front of the creature, but there's so many fragmented parts coming off the shell that's easy enough to loop around and help them up with, so they don't need to make a check or put in any effort to get onto it.
All right. This thing's weird.
You're weird.
Is it the same kind of weird as the other weird we talked about earlier today?
This is IE weird.
At least odd.
Those are letters.
It seems empty.
I don't think anyone's lived here for a very long time, at least. The building itself probably ruin-aged, if anything.
And it's been walking this long.
That I don't know. The building might be that old, but the beast may have been slumbering until recently.
So it is alive.
I can't find magic, so... possibly?
With that, maybe we'll kind of sit down and again start digging into the dirt. Or find a patch of dirt to dig into.
Yes.
And do a couple of things. She will try and sense magic also. Try and sense supernatural. And if or when that fails, then she'll just try and gain understanding of the creature.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an intellect check.
Rolled a 9.
Okay. For 9. This thing seems like it should be magic, but it is not. It was built with magic in mind, but there's no magic running it. At least not in a traditional sense. You get a stranger feeling, a deeper feeling, a sort of awakened feeling.
Would it be a similar awakened feeling as old trees becoming more sentient?
Yes, actually. Yeah, it feels similar to the first time that you awoke.
This is an old thing. An alive now thing.
Old and alive now. Was it not alive before?
That's relative.
Is life and death are not relative. It was alive before?
Is it though? Because I think it might be.
I look at the globe again. Just to try to figure that out. Well, I mean, well, it doesn't seem to be harming us, though it is quickly mowing down the forest.
Yes,
Or
that's-
bog.
Going through towns as well. Carmine, can you detect intent?
Ooh.
As someone who delivers people to hell, do you have any way of doing that?
Hold on. I'm gonna step out the door and towards its head.
Mm-hmm.
Hey!
Oh no!
Stop!
You shout out "Hey!" and suddenly the entire thing stops lurching forward. If you'd like to not be thrown to the ground, so go ahead and roll me a might check to keep balance. Cast difficulty for this will be 4.
4?
A
Alright,
very
cool.
abrupt stop. It stops faster than it moves.
I never considered talking to it.
That is often the case. No, I rolled a 4.
Okay, so yeah, you
Go tumbling.
yeah, you go tumbling a bit, but it stopped, and its head tilts, and those binocular eyes just try to focus on you, but it can't seem to see you from beyond the shell. So it just cranes and twists. The head in particular is about 10 feet wide.
You alive?
There's no response from it.
I don't know. Probably like some sort of animal now.
Okay, which probably means it's not doing this on purpose and getting people angry at it on purpose. Oh dear.
But
Too
if
many
it's-
apples.
You said there was like a smoke?
Yeah, there's a little bit of smoke coming from perhaps the inside of its neck.
As if it has like a fuel? Like it's burning something?
Yeah, possible.
Maybe we should. Maybe things aren't black and white. So it could both be a machine, and alive, like the creature we were tracking. So there has to be some kind of a fuel source, right? Or a power button. These are things outside my purview.
Is this not the creature we were tracking?
Seems larger than what I thought we were tracking. Maybe that's just Sedna's image, but
Pangoliath looks to Maeve and asks if you have any of that miraculous rope I had requested.
She spools it all up and hands it over to you.
I say hold one side, and I'm going to tie some of the rope around my waist, and I'm going to start setting up my balloon. I have an idea that you can do like a carrot on a string with Pangoliath and dangle it in front of this thing's head, and we can steer this bad boy. This one snaps at me. Right?
Beautiful. So it's
But where would you take it?
anima?
Wherever we need to go.
I
But
hope
we could
not.
keep it out of villages.
So, if you rig up your balloon, and you hold it like a stick, whoever you get to hold it like a stick,
Yeah.
probably the strongest people, and then dangle yourself off. It does. Yeah, Professor Munster will
That's
guide
what I'm
it.
thinking. Yeah,
Um,
just yeah.
And you hover it in front of the mouth. It does start to move toward you, like extending its head.
Yeah.
Only a little bit. It's just like out of reach.
Easy. Yeah. I don't know. I just saw the imagery in my head. I was like, eh.
Question for the GM.
Yes.
So based on this creature's size and the paths we've been following,
Mhm.
is it reasonable to assume that this creature made them?
Yes.
It's the
Okay.
same one from the notebook as well.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So just in my brain, it was smaller than.
Oh yeah,
There could be two-
the path it made was rather wide.
Rather wide. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like wasn't like a tunnel.
Oh yeah, no, it was larger than
Got
that.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
The
The whole thing is like 20 feet wide, and its head is fairly large as well.
Sedna, if you like, I could take a closer look at that smoking portion of this creature, and maybe we can get a little more concrete information.
Do you need a ride?
I always need a ride.
I just gotta pick him up and set him on the shuttle, and I crawl back outside to try to track it down.
And the all-powerful scan!
All right. You go to scan, and you determine that this creature is a level 5 creature. But it varies all over the place. When it runs into stuff like trees or rocks, it seems to be a level 8. Where's my creature? There he is. Hey, buddy. The smoking sensation coming from the neck, it is the first bit of magic that you've sensed. There is some sort of power source or awakening to this thing. You're not exactly sure how it works. It reminds you strongly of one of your constructs. Actually, even the build of it. Something that you've seen similar things to before, but there's some intent behind it.
So this was made.
Yes. In addition, you note that this is perhaps a weak point for it.
Good to know. Some monster will turn around and speak to the group and say, so Maeve was absolutely correct. This is a living thing currently. On a scale of 1 to 10, I put it around a 5. Except when it's running into things, it's more of a 7.
If I had to put a numerical value on it.
if I had to assign a numerical value.
You would think wizards in the world of Monte Cook Games, they know that the world's based off of numbers from 1 to 10.
Right. That's what they've studied.
Yeah.
Look, I've got this great idea. New theory, 1 to 10. What are you talking about, Harry?
Everything.
But there is some magic to this creature still, and even more so, I am something of this design impresses me because it's so similar to my own work. But in the event where we have to stop it from causing more harm, it is useful to know that any gestures to the vent, this is perhaps what you would call a weak point. Hopefully, it won't come to that because we are using this to hopefully meet with our witch friend, correct? She's pursuing this, and I guess we caught up first.
Yes, but if it stops moving, then she'd get to us sooner.
True, but I'd rather not stop a creature just because it's inconvenient. Like, it stopped when we talked to it, correct? Perhaps we could convince it to rest for a day or two and entertain it somehow. And
Goliath, would you like an intrusion?
Might be enough time for which to catch up.
As long as it doesn't involve base 12 counting methods, and now I'm on a 1 to 12 system.
So, as they're talking amongst themselves, there's a shift in the wind that causes you to dangle closer than expected to this thing's mouth. Also, give an XP point to a friend. Experience point.
All right, I'm going to give an experience point to Maeve for weaving all that rope for me.
Okay. You find yourself flying forward into the maw.
Can I attempt to pilot around the mall?
Creature. Sure. Go ahead and roll me a speed check.
Sure. I am trained in
Nice.
Piloting my hot air balloon. It'd be a shame if I wasn't, since that's my foci. Oh, no, I'm screwed. Sorry, guys.
What'd you roll?
I'm about to roll, so I'm spinning some effort.
Mm-hmm.
And 13.
Nice. You evade it as this thing goes forward. But as you see it go forward, you notice that its maw snaps shut. And it looks like it's trying to nuzzle.
does it want to nuzzle me?
It appeared to.
Okay. This is how I die. I can't refuse the hugs. I kind of stop. I was like, a friend, and I start reaching in my pocket for a gift for it. I have an orange peel. I was saving it for later. But I'm going to try to float into a little nuzzly spot on it and give it a hearty pat.
All right. You go up to it, and you go to pat it, and it nuzzles you for a second, and then you see its mouth, these mechanical jaws open up and start like lightly chewing toward the orange peel.
Oh, yeah. Let me, on the very tips of my panga claw, let me see if I can orange peel it.
Sure.
Oh, this would be great if it just like eats trash and compost, and this thing's like a recycling machine.
Yeah, you toss the orange peel in, and suddenly there's like a small burst that comes out, and then more smoke comes out of the neck.
Ooh. Let's see. I'm not throwing my library books into its mouth, although that's my first instinct. Perhaps this one. It's a book on Viatfian romance, but it's really just like a trash Viatfian novel. And like, I want to fling that in.
Okay, you toss it in, and its mouth opens like a dog catching a treat out of the air, and snaps down on it. And another small explosion happens inside of its mouth, and more smoke comes out.
Ooh.
Ooh, what's going on?
Everyone at the door just like, oh!
And it starts moving a little faster.
Aw.
What?
Pangoliath, what are you doing?
It starts mowing down more trees, though.
What?
Might need to come up there.
I've discovered how it works. It's
Was
powered
it
by love and garbage.
Can you slow
Oh,
it
me
down?
too.
What?
Same, though.
Like super #mood.
Powered by love and garbage.
Oh god.
Can you get it to stop?
No, I'm not that clever.
Is it
The
listening?
love and garbage.
I'm a pangolin, a very little brain.
Yeah, I am a pangolin, a very little brain. I'm gonna see if I can slow it down. I'm gonna speak to it. I'm gonna be like, can you walk a little slower?
It doesn't seem to respond to that.
It doesn't like my voice. Maybe someone else should try shouting at it.
What about the book we have? Does it say anything about the creature and a language it speaks, or the way it functions? Books are supposed to be filled with knowledge, right?
That's very true. And Carmine still has that?
I still have what? Sorry?
The book
The book of... Yeah.
with the information. Does it have, I don't know, a hint of how to communicate or what language it speaks, or if we can feed it an apple and it'll stop?
I mean, I'm pretty sure if you just plug up the hole where all the smoke's coming out, it'll stop.
Ooh, I have an idea. Pangoliath, can you fly a little higher and see if there's a lake or a river nearby?
There is. It's a swamp.
Wait, what?
It's a swamp, but they're all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we can cool off the engine, so to speak.
Ooh.
Is it too hot?
Yes.
Okay.
I could try to steer it into some of the water.
But I don't want to drown it. Does it swim?
Why?
We'll find out.
All right.
As somebody that's a very good swimmer, that is not a way to teach someone to swim.
You
Yeah,
already
yeah.
know that you
My mother threw me into the pool.
Oh no! You already know that you can steer it a little bit,
Okay.
just by dangling in front of it, because it will follow.
Oh.
maybe because you're made of love and garbage, who knows? But you're able to steer it into a relatively large puddle, lake, basin, if you will. And the creature, it starts slowing down and it just kind of floats there, surprisingly buoyant. Its feet still sort of dog paddling through the water.
What an incredible creature! Can I take a running dive? I gotta see this in action. I want to see it from the underside.
Sure.
Oh, let me get off first. Let me get off first.
Oh, right.
Chuck him over your shoulder as you dive into the water, and you see that its large, flat feet operate very much like webbed feet would.
Oh, he's a webbed creature. Well, mimics my webbed toes curl in happiness. I kind of bob up and I yell up, "It has webbed feet!"
But it bobs here for a little bit, seemingly content. Or perhaps it can't swim that well, but it can remain floating. Who knows?
Is it cooling it down?
Uh,
That was the goal, right?
no, it
Oh.
doesn't seem to be cooling down, but the thing doesn't necessarily need to be cooled down anyway. You know,
Oh, okay.
smoke is still coming up. Maybe this is just a natural feature of it.
Oh,
It is
Okay.
also part boat.
Yeah, it is. Let's see.
oh, I see.
Only have a couple minutes left. So, of the things that you found on Sariaros, there is a letter addressed to her that has been opened.
While everyone else is messing around with the steel turtle, I imagine Carmine, Maeve, and Munster are probably looking through the things.
Yep, exactly. So you find this letter, and somebody else can read that if they wish. Whoever would like to.
We got a reader?
Yep. Pulling it up now. Here we go. Alright. Oh, my poor eyes. I'm gonna have to zoom in on that. Interesting events are afoot. My work is coming to a close. I think you would love it or hate it. Nothing you wouldn't do, though. Disregarding any minor hiccups, I think I finally nailed that slice of chaos we've both been seeking. Arranging everything, as you suspected, was tough. Not entirely sure to trust anyone. Not entirely sure to trust anymore. Going no further. Evenings are quiet lately without you. I've forgotten what peace and quiet sounds like, really. Hoping to hear from you soon. Even I need a break from this slice of normal. Let me know where I should meet you next. Preferably not on your land this time. The alligators don't take kindly to me being there. You know how to reach me. A.A.
Well, that's interesting.
Guess. Maybe.
I don't like the bit about chaos and normality. It makes me uneasy.
I mean, points at steel turtle, points behind the steel turtle. The trail of destruction.
Do you suppose that she's left the land in favor of pursuing this meeting, even after calling us here? Or perhaps we were called here because of this?
Good questions. You said there was 2 letters?
Yeah, there were 2 letters.
Oh, did I not get the second one?
No.
Oh, okay.
There wasn't a second one written.
Okay.
This one, the second one, appears to be an RSVP from another person who isn't here right now.
Oh, got you. Okay, so it's addressed to S from AA.
I guess I will do an intellect roll to see if I can recall anyone with 2A initials.
Hmm.
I rolled a 2.
You think back and nothing comes to your memory. Not right now, at least.
No one has names with the A's in it. That's just dumb.
2 vowels does seem odd.
Could I also make a roll, but using my knowledge politics, perhaps?
Go ahead.
Rolled a 6.
You think back. There's a large number of politicians who use the name or have names that start with A and last names that end with A. A lot of them are dead. Perhaps Arcturus Avinti in Demir might match this. It's the only one off the top of your head that you can think of.
But it's a bit of a long shot anyway. Yeah.
It is.
So, we wanted to find this thing because we assumed that she'd be here. Also finding this thing.
Or she'd be tracking it, but yes.
Hey.
We just stick around? Take a nap?
I mean, it is a very secure location.
Yeah. Facilities are still nice inside. Maybe a bit of dusting's in order, but...
And we don't have to do it on foot. Wherever it is we're headed. It's like an adventure.
I need a nap.
Well,
And Carmine goes and collapses in a corner. just sits down.
I'll start lunch.
Yep. If you spend enough time on the thing, you eventually find sort of embedded into the wall it kind of looks like a plaque that had been removed, but it's backwards. There appears to be a Q, a U, and then an ST.
Quist.
And if you study the beast further yet, it just seems to be content to paddle here for a while. Meanwhile, as we close out and you delve through things, the 3 remaining soldiers of the group who had killed a witch for beguiling their companions are running out of the forest when suddenly the branches begin to close in on them, and the walking trees do so as well.
She died.
wait, what was that you said there, Ethan?
I didn't bring it up because I wasn't in that scene, but
Same here.
the guards had mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
or the mercenaries had mentioned that they killed a witch.
Yep.
The forest pays its retribution.
Fair enough.
There are superstitions for those of you viewers at home of Demiran guards. They will act swiftly on magic users who attack them. It's a place that generally fears magic, and the moment that you all started talking about how powerful that witch was, that's the moment they started freaking out. So that's it. That's the game for this evening. We close on a horrifying note as 3 soldiers who are pretty much home free are bound in the forest.
You know,
Yeah, just stuff that happens.
stuff that happens.
This is just general fairy tale stuff. So.
Yeah, no big deal. Here on the
Let's-
Owl of Lysia.
Yeah, right. Just an average day. So let's close out with some outros, and we can go in the same order that we started out with today. Let's see. Actually, let's go to Little Red Dot last. So let's start with,
Yeah, skip it for me.
with Ash. Ash, who are you? Where can we find you? What do you do?
Hello, I am Ash, also Phoenix of 89, on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. I think that's just about it. And I'm here every other Sunday playing this wonderful game with these lovely people. And outside of that, you can just find me doing some woodworking.
Nice. Next, let's go to Ethan.
Hello, I'm Ethan. You can find me at SuperRobotBear on the Twitter. That's where I talk about most of the stuff. The project I'm working on right now is Gobs of Gobs, which is a Cypher System supplement. That's hard to say. About playing gobs and their adventures, and it's meant to be a very like zany, cartoonish sort of vibe.
Which we may get a little taste of.
But other than that, I am a co-host to a podcast called Too Many RPGs. This coming Tuesday, we are talking to Kiana about her thesis. She just completed a thesis paper on sort of Twitch streams and audience interaction. It's a very good conversation. You should tune in.
Yeah. All right. Next, let's go to Yutsai.
I'm Yutsai. You can find me on Twitter at Saisu, Tsaisu. I'm here on Isle of Lysia every other Sunday. Really, this is mostly what I do currently, other than go to school. Finals are coming up.
Oh, been there. All right. And Grant.
Hey everybody, my name's Grant Ellis. I'm an independent content creator for tabletop role-playing games. If you like games by Monte Cook, they have a book coming out soon called The Essence of Invisible Sun, which I'm a contributing author on. I design a lot for tabletop games. There's like 5 or 6 D&D books that'll be published before the end of the year. Check them out. Best place to find them is by following me on Twitter at WisePopGrant. I'll drop a link in chat. I'm the producer for WebDM's Twitch channel, so they're currently off on Tuesday and most likely Thursday this week. So follow my tweets. I'm probably going to be doing some romantic bullshit one-shots.
Oh
yeah.
Romantic bullshit.
Yes.
Oh, they've been it's been choice recently.
Awesome. And my name is Marsie. You can find me here every other week for this game. On every other Saturday, I have 2 games. One is Dragon Heist with Gold Heart Gaming. The other one I just got onto the Gorecast, which is a D&D game set in Ravnica devoted to observing mental health. Content warnings do abide for that, though. And on Thursdays, I howl at the moon with Little Red Dot for Men of Letters, which is a Cypher System game run by Unmade Gaming. So that's where you can find me.
Nice. And gang, I am Little Red Dot. Thank you for coming, 1, by the channel to just be here and support, and 2, to give some love to this incredible game Marsie's written. I'm just in love with it. And this is the first Cypher game I realized on the dot lot. So that's also another new system. Check it out. So yeah, lots of ways that you can stay involved, including showing up again in 2 weeks when this show comes back on Sundays. But you can follow this channel. Tuesday night, we'll have Witch Girl Adventures back for our 3rd episode, and we'll have a full cast of witches there. So that should be a ton of fun. And you can catch me on a few other awesome networks, including Unmade Gaming on Thursdays. You can check me out in the North by Northwest podcast. We're gearing up for both MomoCon and the D&D live event happening in LA, which you can tune into. And yeah, and then on Saturdays, the Vampire the Masquerade Sounds of Silence has come to a close for this session, or for this season. But we will be kicking up a Game of Thrones Riverlands campaign starting this Saturday. So you can tune in and watch me play a Dornish diplomat who wields her tongue as well as a whip. So that should be a lot of fun. Yeah, so lots and lots of places to stay tuned. And we will have a Sunday Fun Day this month, though it's up in the air currently as to whether or not I'm going to get to host that live from MomoCon. They may give me a rig on the floor, which will be really cool. So stay tuned. I'll have more information about that. And we're going to get all these awesome people out of here, give you guys your Sunday. We are in the countdown, I'm sure, to Game of Thrones, 50 minutes EST time. So have fun. And, don't do anything, I don't know, maybe Pay Goliath wouldn't do. He's our role model this week. Awesome. We'll see you guys on the flip side. I'm also on our way out going to drop a Discord link in case you want to hop in and chat more about the Owl of Lysia. And why don't we raid somebody as well? I believe Pro is live, isn't it, T?
Yes. Maybe.
He is.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and give some love to Pro Restarted. That counts.
Raid cry made of love and garbage.
Made of love and garbage. Here we come. 3, 2, 1. Go show some .lad love.